What up? What up? What up? I know I am, like a few days late. I had some stuff I had to handle, and now that it's handled, finally, finally, as promised, I'm gonna start reading this book. I'm in the process of like working on a routine. Reading this book, and get up and really just I think waking up, man. It's early right now. It's early, so I'm still kind of trying to get going. But nevertheless, as promised, we go read one chapter a day, and we go keep pushing. Also, these chapters not short. These are some pretty long chapters. So, with all that said, let's just let's just go and get into it. So, Contagious by Contagious Disciple Making, leading others on a journey of discovery. David Watson and Paul Watson. Are they brothers? Some endorsements. And also, excuse my voice. Again, I'm just waking up, and like this like the first thing I'm doing. Like I want this to be the first thing I do in the morning. Also, I have a cough, and I'm trying to get over it. So oh, but here's the chapters. It's 18 total chapters. The first half is about the mindset of a disciple maker, and then the back half is practices of a disciple. When I first went to the when I first went to the book club, I think I came in on like chapter like 15, 16, like when they were talking about it, somewhere around there. And then that's when, again, my pastor was gracious enough to let me, borrow his book. So let's get in. Introduction. God, I can't plant churches anymore. I didn't sign on to love people, train people, send people, and get them killed. 6 men David, had worked with had been martyred over the last 18 months. I can't live in the area you call me to reach. The Indian government expelled our family from the country more than 2,500 miles, and an ocean separated our house in Singapore from the Barudi people in North India. The task is too big. There were 80 million Barudi living in an area known as the graveyard of missions and missionaries. This isn't enough help. There were only 27 evangelical churches in the area. they struggled to survive. Fewer than 1,000 believers lived among the recruited at that time. Take away my call, I will go back to the States. I'm good at business. I will give lots of money to missions. Let someone else plant churches. Let me go. Release me from my call. Every day for 2 months, we had the same conversation. Every day, I went to my office, sat in the dark, and begged God to take away my call. And every day, He refused. Fine, you have to teach me how to plant churches. I cannot believe that you would call someone to a task without telling him how to do it. Show me in your word how you want me to reach these people. If you show me, I will do it. This is my covenant with God. This is what started my part in the work among the Okrudi. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. New ideas. God upheld his part of our covenant. Over the next year, he led me through scripture and brought my attention to things I had read but never understood, at least in this context. Patterns emerged and new thoughts about church, making disciples, and church planning came to life. I prayed for 5 Indian men to help develop these ideas in North India. I met the first at a secret forum gathered in India to discuss wait, evangelizing. I think that's what it is. Evangelizing Indians. They invited me to press. They invited me to present some ideas. As I talked, they started leaving one by one, two by two, sometimes 5 at a time. People got up and left the room. They thought I was crazy. By the end of the day, only one remained. I believe what you're saying, he told me. I can see it too. We talked long into the night and became friends. He became the first to help me develop these ideas. Over the next year, 3 other men emerged to work with me. Lord, I prayed, where is the 5th man? Where is the one we need to complete our team? Now this is in the days when people still wrote letters. I got stacks of them every day. In Singapore, the mail carrier rode motor scooters that had a very distinct sound. I heard the mailman put up. I heard the mailman put her up to my gate and dropped the mail in the box. The day I got the letter from India from someone I didn't know. Brother David, it began. You don't know me, but I feel God telling me that I should become your disciple. Tell me what to do, and I will do it. It was the 5th member of my team, but God didn't give me the man I prayed for. You see, a woman wrote the letter I got that day. Over the next few years, we struggled as we implemented the things God taught us. Our first church planted was this new mythology. Oh wait. Okay, I see it. But the new mythology didn't happen until 2 years after the secret form. In fact, the mission organization I worked for threatened to fire me each year during my annual review. You're not doing your job, they said. Give me time, I responded. We're trying something new. Trust me. And for some reason they did. All of a sudden, they saw 8 churches planted in one year. The next year, there were 48 new churches planted. The year after that, 148, then 327, and then 500. In the 5th year, we saw more than 1,000 new churches planted. After the 5th year, my mission organization called me. You must be mistaken, they insisted. No one can plant 1,000 churches in one year. We didn't believe 500, but we certainly don't believe 1,000. Come and see, I told them, and they did. A formal survey of the work amongst the. You know what? Let me make sure I'm saying this word right. Excuse me. Anything else?
Bojpuri.
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 Okay, Bojpuri. Alright, let's backtrack. Come and see, I told them. And they did a formal survey of the work amongst the Bojpuri showed that our team actually underreported the number of churches planted in the area. By 2008, another survey of the work revealed 80,000 churches planted and 2 million people baptized. Things were exploding. In 1999, I left the organization that sent me to India and continued the work in India under the ministry name I had used to establish the work. By 2004, the work in India was entirely indigenously led and did not need me anymore. City Team, a well-established organization with 50-plus year history of helping the homeless and addicts find and follow Jesus. Homeless and addicted, find and follow Jesus. Decided they wanted to become an organization that, oh my gosh, I need to wake up. Become an organization that catalyzed disciple making, movements as they met the need of people in extreme circumstances. We decided to work together on a pilot project in Africa. The pilot project grew from Sierra Leone to include 33 African nations. At the time of writing this introduction, 9 years into the project, our team have started 26,911 churches and baptized 933,717 people. You can read more about City Team and our work in Africa in the book Miraculous Movement. How hundreds of thousands of Muslims are falling in love with Jesus, by our colleague Jerry Truesdale. In spite of living and traveling all over the globe, we're never forgotten. We've never forgotten the lost people living and dying in the United States of America. City team continues its work amongst the homeless and addicted while seeking to catalyze disciple-making movements in America. At the time of writing this chapter, 1,296 discovery groups have been spotted in 14 states. The work there has spread through relational lines from Latino families in the United States to families in South and Central America. There are 602 discovery groups and 25 churches in 12 countries in Central and South America. I, Paul, never intended to plant churches like my father does. There was a time when I thought God had called me into ministry, but a brief and unsuccessful attempt as a youth minister made me question that call. I dabbled in business, but basically wandered from thing to thing, not sure what I wanted to do with my life. Eventually, that wrote me into a couple of writing and curriculum development projects with the city team. I could write, I knew the subject matter, and I was relatively cheap labor. While working for a city team, I experimented with the idea and concept Dad and I talk about in this book. I am an expert. I'm an expert. I'm an experimenter by nature. Oh, and I wanted to know if the concepts I was writing about would work in the real world or someone who had a job, a marriage, children, hobbies, and a church. They did, and eventually God clearly called me to make disciples and develop disciple making and disciple makers and disciple making teams worldwide. City team hired me, and the real adventure began. I traveled more than 185,000 miles around the world and throughout the United States, training disciple makers and their team. When I couldn't physically visit a place, I used Skype. I used Skype. First off, that is old. And a cell phone to train disciple makers. As a result, these disciple makers found persons of peace and started discovery groups all over the world. Toward the end of 2011, City Team asked me to become the city director of City Team's Recovery Center in Portland, Oregon. Through our recovery center, we fed 22,000 meals a year, 6,000 per month. We help on average 84 people per night, 365 days per year, get showers, find clothes, and have a place to sleep. I am responsible for leading the team in Portland as we meet the physical need of the homeless, addicted, and alcoholic, while seeking to catalyze disciple-making movements in the Pacific Northwest. David and I are very different. He is a thinker, I am a feeler. He is an extreme introvert, although few realize it, and I am an extreme extrovert. He played football in high school. I sang competitively. Yet, even with all these differences, there is one burning question that unites us? How do we help the millions of lost people who will never step foot inside the doors of existing churches fall in love with Jesus? When David and I sit in our churches here in the United States, we can't keep from looking around and mourning over all the lost people who aren't there. And if we continue to try to get them to fit into our Christian culture, will never come. If you find yourself asking the same question and struggling with the same feelings, this book is for you. Everything you read in this book comes from our personal experience and experiences of those we train. If God has called you to catalyze disciple making movement, we hope this book helps you fulfill that call. If God has called you to something else, we hope you find ideas in this book that will help you as you obey your own unique call. Let the adventure begin. Alright. So, that was just the intro. So I'm gonna be honest. Just reading the intro alone, I don't think, you know, starting a church or, you know, planting a church or any of those things. I don't think that's my calling. Because one, I'm not even like a public speaker, so, and I only talk to like, you know, people that I know or close to or, you know, that are tight. I don't think this is my calling. I think I'm just reading this, like how he said at the end, you know, find new ideas, you know. And I like to hear other people's stories anyway, you know. So I think that's what I'm gonna be in this for, you know. But if this helps somebody else, you know, then that would be cool as well. So tomorrow, you just go ahead and get into chapter 1, and you know, just go make 18 or I guess 19 days out of this. So see you tomorrow for chapter 1.